Indeed, Ibn Arabi never mentions the transcendence unity of religions or Wahdatul Adyan. But if we pay attention to what Ibn Arabi explains about the unity of being or Wahdatul Wujud and the matters we have previously discussed, we can find his views echoing the essential unity of religions, not the unity of former religions. Even so, we cannot just jump to conclusion like that rashly, because Ibn Arabi himself also still maintains that Islam is the most perfect religion. The unity of religions can only be understood or affirmed on the esoteric level or on the essential aspects of religions, not on the level of their forms in which the manifestations indeed vary according to the tajalli of Al-Haq. On the esoteric level or on the inner level, or let's say the transcendence level, all religions have the same heart, pumped by the one breath, namely the breath of the ultimate reality, or the breath of All Merciful, to borrow Ibn Arabi's term. Indeed, it is undeniable that on the exoteric level, or the outward form, religions appear different from each other. A rite of one religion is different from a rite of another religion. This is what Ibn Arabi calls that the shari'ahs or the paths are different and many, but all of them originate from the one. All the shari'ahs are the path of all believers. Although different, all of the paths lead to the ultimate omega. Seeing that the end of all paths is one and the same, we comprehend ontologically the path is actually one straight path, at-tariq al-wahid al-mustaqim, which Abul Ala Afifi calls the path of Wahdatul Wujud, the path of the unity of being, and the path of Wahdatul Ma'bud, the path of the unity of worshipped. Because as Ibn Arabi apprehends that Wujud is only God and nothing is worshipped except God, or Al-Wujud. Quotes, according to this system, it as to Wahdatul Wujud, all paths lead to one straight path, at-tariq al-umam, which leads to God. From the crudest form of idolatry to the most abstract religious philosophy, we find, Ibn Arabi says, beliefs which, when interpreted rightly, are found to be beliefs about God. Monotheism and polytheism, together with infinite other creeds, are, when interpreted in the light of his theory, nothing but one universal religion. The difference between monotheism and polytheism, according to him, corresponds to the logical difference between the one and the many. Polytheism is due to the failure of the polytheist to realize the absolute unity of the whole, through which failure he regards as divisible the ultimate indivisible being. In reality, said Ibn Arabi, there is no partner, there is no associate to God, because God is the essence of everything, including the so-called associate. Everything that is worshipped is a manifest aspect or a form of God, and in fact, there is nothing to be worshipped except Al-Wujud. In Ibn Arabi's own words, the perfect knower is whoever regards every object of worship as a manifestation of God in which he is worshipped. For this reason, they all call every object of worship God, Ilah, although its specific name might be stone, tree, animal, human being, star, or angel. This is the particular name of each God. Divinity causes the worshipper to imagine that this is the object of his worship, while truly it is the manifestation of Al-Haq in the perception of the worshipper who devotes himself to this object in its specific manifestation. In the Quran it is said, "Thy Lord decrees that you worship none but Him." Ibn Arabi explains the verse by saying, "Thy Lord had said that nothing is actually worshipped except Him." Ibn Arabi explains, the knower is aware of the object of worship and the form through which it was made manifest for the purpose of being worshipped. He also knows that separation and multiplicity of the parts of this object are like parts in the sensible form and like spiritual faculties in the spiritual form. Hence, in every object of worship, it is God who is worshipped. Considering the fact that all manifest forms are the self-manifestations of Al-Haq, whether they are part or whole, when one worships a part of an object or a whole, one actually worships God. Ibn Arabi doesn't reject polytheism provided that the worshippers of idols or forms fully realize that there is a supreme reality behind the forms of their idols. That's why Ibn Arabi sings, "My heart has become capable of every form. It is a pasture for gazelles and a convent for Christian monks, and a temple for idols and the pilgrim's Kaaba." and the tables of the Torah and the book of the Quran. I follow the religion of love. Whatever way love's camels take, that is my religion and my faith. In general, scholars, both Western scholars and Muslim scholars, interpret the poem to be Ibn Arabi's position which adheres to the religion of love. It is significant to note that the religion of love is not a new religion created by Ibn Arabi, but rather a term that denotes Ibn Arabi's openness to other religions as well as a level of religiosity that transcends outward forms. In addition, the term religion of love is also often understood to be an affirmation of Wahdatul Adyan, the transcendence unity of religions, or the inner unity of religions, or the esoteric unity of religions. However, not all scholars agree with the interpretation, concluding that Ibn Arabi adheres to the idea of the unity of religions, or Wahdatul Adyan. One scholar who disagrees with the matter is Su'ad Hakim. According to her, Ibn Arabi's poem doesn't mean unity of religions, but emphasizes that a person who believes in Muhammad's Sharia must believe in the previous Sharias, because Muhammad's Sharia has included the Sharias of all the previous prophets. All Sharias originate from God, and Muhammad's Sharia closes all previous Sharia, and there will not be Sharia coming after the Prophet Muhammad. Ibn Arabi's statement that my heart has become capable of every form means that he was a loyal adherent of Muhammad's Sharia because all previous Sharias have been included in Muhammad's Sharia. And other rejectors of Wahdatul Adyan also state that Ibn Arabi's religion of love is none other than Muhammad's Sharia, not referring to all religions. The arguments we have discussed in several other episodes assert that Ibn Arabi himself insists Islam is the perfect religion and the religion of happiness. If we are asked, did Ibn Arabi profess the esoteric unity of religion, we can certainly answer yes. Nonetheless, we cannot say yes when asked, is there the most perfect and comprehensive religion besides Islam in Ibn Arabi's view? Ibn Arabi's views on the subject are actually difficult to freeze on one side. We can interpret his views with two answers at once, yes and no. Apart from such theological controversies, let's take a brief look at what Ibn Arabi means by the religion of love. Back to the Quranic verse, "Thy Lord decrees that you worship none but Him." Ibn Arabi perceives that whatever is worshipped, including when worshipping creatures, is God Himself, even though he is not aware of the matter. An idolater cannot distinguish between the true God and the divine names that appear to be his tajalli, which he then worships as God, and that is the veil for him. Nevertheless, according to Ibn Arabi, those who worship God, even if they may do it improperly through their idols, which are the locus of the tajalli of Allah, thus also receive God's compassionate. Ibn Arabi said, God takes care of their needs and gives them something to drink. He punishes them if they do not appreciate the other side of God besides his raw form. The term give something to drink is related to the drinking places. According to Ibn Arabi, drinking places are many and various. Due to the different degrees or levels, the names of God and their effects that manifest in the whole cosmos also become many. God is only one, but the manifestation of His names gives rise to many objects of worship. Humans, angels, stars, animals, jinn worship the One. All entities worship only the One with various expressions according to their degrees. Ibn Arabi says he decreed that only He should be worshipped in many various degrees, and that each degree embodies God's self-manifestation in which He is worshipped. The greatest and loftiest of the degrees in which He is worshipped is passion. As he said, "Have you seen him who has taken his passion to be his God? It is the greatest object of worship, for only thanks to it everything can be worshipped, and it is worshipped only through its essence." Regarding this, I say, by the truth of passion, surely passion gets passion, and but for passion in the heart, it would not be worshipped. According to Ibn Arabi, the basis of worship of every worshipper is love, or what he names al-hawa, or passion in its positive and spiritual meaning. Passion is the basis of all forms of devotion. Afifi explains that al-hawa, passion, has two meanings. First, it is defined as one of the most sublime divine names. The greatest and highest manifestation of God is al-hawa, passion. Passion is also the basis of various forms of beliefs, rites, and objects of worship. When God decreed that only He should be worshipped, in Ibn Arabi's view, it means He is the one who manifests in various degrees and forms of divinity, which is then worshipped by creatures. Second, al-hawa means the desire or passion in the heart of every servant to worship God. Worship is always based on love, so the object of worship of each servant is the object of his love. Here, hawa plays an important role in the act of worship of every servant, for it becomes the main mover of a person to worship the object of worship, whatever it is, which is also none other than his tajalli. In other words, hawa becomes raison d'etre of the emergence of love for the object of worship. Regarding hawa, Ibn Arabi explains, "Do you not see how perfect God's knowledge of things is, and how he completed our knowledge concerning him, who worshipped his passion and took it to be his God, and said, God led him astray knowingly." And going astray is confusion. That is because he saw this person worshipping only his passion by obeying it. His passion urged him to worship objects, so that even his worshipping God also derived from his passion, because that passion which is will caused by love not arisen in him regarding this sacred presence, he would neither have worshipped God nor preferred him to other objects. Likewise, whoever worships one of the forms of the word and takes it to be a god doesn't do this but through passion. The worshipper is always under the rule of his passion. Also, he says that worshippers have different objects of worship, and one worshipper declares another who worships some other object to be an unbeliever. Whoever pays a little attention to this phenomenon is confused by the unity of passion, moreover its oneness, for it is the same phenomenon in each servant. For this reason, God led him astray, that is, confused him, knowing that every worshipper venerates only his passion, making him a servant, whether he meets unexpectedly a religion or not. The perfect Gnostic is whoever regards every object of worship as a manifestation of God in which he is worshipped. Gnostics are those who can apprehend the one in the many and the many in the one. Regarding the term the religion of love, we cannot say that Ibn Arabi had no religion. I think one misconstrues when saying Ibn Arabi had no religion. Without doubt, Ibn Arabi was a Muslim. We should understand that the religion of love in this context to be a religion beyond formal religion or exoteric religion or outward religion, because of which most people argue and dispute each other. So Ibn Arabi's religion of love is on the spiritual level or on the inner level of the Gnostics, who witness and know him because they love him, and love him because they witness and know him. God as the object of worship is an act of love. Without love, the devotion becomes spiritless. In other words, love becomes the spirit of worship. The object we worship is what we love. As we have explained, that according to Ibn Arabi, the object worshipped by each worshipper is essentially the one. Ibn Arabi also asserts that the object which is loved is actually one, even though these objects appear in various forms and names. Ibn Arabi says, "None but God is loved in the existent things. It is He who is manifest within every beloved to the eye of every lover, and there is no existent thing that is not a lover. So the cosmos is all lover and beloved, and all of it goes back to Him. In the same way, no one is worshipped but Him, for no worshipper worships anything without imagining divinity within it. Otherwise, he wouldn't worship it. Thus God says, Your Lord has decreed that you worship none but Him. So also is love. No one loves anyone but his own Creator, but he is veiled from him by love for Zainab, Zu'ad, Hind, Layla, this word, money, possession, and everything loved in the world. Poets exhaust their words on all these existent things, but they don't know. The Gnostics never hear a verse, a riddle, a panegyric, or a love poem that is not about God, hidden beyond the veil of forms. By Ibn Arabi's own words just now, eventually we know the meaning of Ibn Arabi's religion of love. In his most popular verse, we often quote, Waqad sara qalbi qabilan kulla suratin famar'an li ghizlanin wa dairun li ruhbani wa baitun li awthanin wa ka'batun ta'ifin wa alwahu tawratin wa mushafu qur'ani adinu bidinil hubbi anna tawajjahat raqaibuhu fal hubbu dini wa imani. I'll see you next time.